Alright. What's good, everybody? This is Lord London, and welcome to this video. Basically, this is Return to Naxxramas. My out of 38 cards, we have picked, or I have picked 10 cards that I think is going to have a direct meta impact. I want to say right now that I am not taking into consideration wild things or uh, how the meta will look after rotation, because those things are kind of hard to predict. So I've written myself a little list here, so let's get right into it. So construct quarter. Now I don't even have to look at this thing, but we shall do so anyway. Yeah, so this is definitely not only the first card that I added to the list, but probably also one of the strongest defining cards. Um, and now I did not add the War Rider, the four horsemen, to this list. Uh, but I think if they're going to have a part, if they're going to be part of an OTK, then construction quarter is going to be why, for especially for Blood Death Knight. So yeah, Loatheb is not in this set. Do not worry. So let's have a little bit of a look. So it's a 3 mana location. You drop that down. Let's see what it does. So destroy a friendly minion. It doesn't have to be undead or anything like that. It could just be, although you would drop down your your hero thing, charge it, and then transform it into so this would trigger death rattles and anything like that. This is so the biggest issue of the war riders or the horsemen is that they could get transformed, right? But you would literally drop them down alongside the location, and in the case of the one with the death rattle, you could, or the one with the rush, you could rush at something, and well, otherwise you would just immediately destroy them with the location. Um, and this is so much value too, because you could drop this is not a good example, but let's say you drop something like a Goldshire Knoll, which no Death Knight runs, but hypothetically speaking, or you drop something that rushes into something else, and then you can basically say, okay, I'm gonna get rid of that and get another 4/5 at rush. I think it's 4/5, right? Yep. Which gives you more board clear. Blood and Death Knight's gonna love this, even outside of the horseman. And like Frost Knight could use this for board clear, and also to trigger the drawing death rattles. So I think this slots into literally every Death Knight deck that exists. Like for Unholy, you just you get even more bodies on the board while at the same time controlling a little bit. But you can just pump out extra stats on the board. So it has free duration, free. It doesn't actually say that. It doesn't actually say free duration. This is gonna get nerfed. Like this is one of the first cards that's gonna get nerfed right away. That's just too much value. Faithful Companions. This is a shout out to Livdera if you happen to be watching this video. Yeah, we're skipping over Demon Hunter because I don't think there's anything quite impactful. There's actually a couple of classes we're skipping over here. Alright, so we have Faithful Companions over here. So that's quite expensive, but if you're running anything, so tutor and summon, because a lot of the beasts you'll be running in like big beast hunter, you have like Hydralodon, Bear, King Crush, and whatnot. Like, you are guaranteed to discover something that costs 7 or more, and you can tutor that out, pretty much. Um, if you want, like, and neither of them, none of them have battle cries. At 10 mana, though, you can literally summon 2 Mountain Bears, 2 King Crushes. Like, you can do 16 to face with this thing, which is pretty nutty. So, yeah, I think if Beast Hunter, yeah, this might actually elevate Beast Hunter, become, like a solid tier 2. I think it's a solid deck. I just think no one plays it because we've seen it for such a long time, and there has not been any changes in the archetype. But I think this will push Beast Hunter even further to become. It's gonna impact the meta. Now, are we gonna see Beast Hunter running rampant on ladder? No, probably not. But like, this is Death Knight's set. Death Knight and Shaman are the two winners of this set, in my opinion, and we will get into those. But this is definitely a great card, tutor and supreme value. Yeah, let's go. Cannibalize. I guess an honorable mention, Trinket Tracker. Um, just toss that out there. Draw a specific type of spell or draw a one-cast spell. Super good. And Mage and Paladin do not get anything, even though I think the Purator, that's like a super flavorful card. Terra Reality, it's way too slow, and Spectral Trainee is probably going to be relevant after rotation, but we're not taking that into consideration. So Cannibalize, what's up with that? Okay. So single target removal and restoring health. Like, it's healing and control in the same thing. Like, there's literally nothing wrong about this card. It's just like, if there's a control archetype that's floating around like Quest Priest, this is guaranteed to be slotted in there, um, for sure. Yeah, so much else I can say. I think it's a really solid card. Next coming up is Jolly Roger. Now, I should maybe take a moment here to say that this I think it's a really, really, really good card, but I don't think it's gonna see meta play straight out of the gate. I think what will like Pirate, Rogue, and Wild's gonna love this, but obviously we're not talking about Wild. And also, post rotation, you're probably gonna see some sort of aggro archetype. Hook Tusk might come back into play. It's a super solid card though, so it might fit into um Miracle, like Tempo something, like Tempo, Concoctions, something like that. Yeah, like the. So it's a 1/3 with upsides. Like, you literally a 1 mana 1/3 with upsides. It's such a good card, and the token it summons is an undead pirate, which. Yeah, and it summons a zombie pirate, which is obviously an undead pirate. So you have potential synergies with that. Now, if it had Rush, that would have been insane. But, like, I think it's an honorable mention, really. It's my mistake that I added it. But I think it's good enough to where it'll see play. Because, like, looking at it without considering the meta, just considering the sort of the power, but not considering the meta itself, this is like an insanely good card, just in terms of round numbers. And then once you take other cards into consideration, it just becomes absolutely insane. Our next two cards, we're actually picking two cards from Shaman here. And like, look at this, look at this. This is crazy. Okay. You can steal someone's ass. Well, you can't steal it, but you can basically double up on Astrolor. Someone drops an Astrolor. You can double up on, I don't know, if a priest drops a light shower elemental. Like anything that isn't like synergy specific, like like Lord Maroger, you shouldn't copy that. That's pretty useless. But like anything that's just beneficial in general, you can do this on your own minions. You can double up your Mutanus, and also, and one important thing to know is that it says, this is my interpretation anyway. It says add a copy. So maybe we can assume, let's say that you drop a 7 mana 4/4 Mutinous on, and it consumes. I love it. I love Light Shower Elemental. Because that keeps popping in my example, right? So Mutanus would become a 10/10. Let's say that you're maybe potentially, this is how they phrased it, is that when you use the freeze mechanic, your Mutanus will still stay on board, which is fine because it's the same turn. The next turn, like, it doesn't have rush or anything, so the next turn it will just pop out at you later. But I think if it says a copy, then it should give you a 10/10 in hand, and you can just keep making that bigger and bigger. But I don't know if that's how it works or anything like that. I heard someone speculate that's how it works, but I literally don't know. But like, that aside, that is just an insane bonus. But like, aside from that, you see this, you can do this in Wild. Shutterwalk says hello. You can use your macaws. You can add. There's so many things you can do. Like for for a Vav Shaman, you're just doubling up here on your Nold. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. And it's a frost, so if you want to do multicaster and stuff, you can. Blazing Transmutation. Now, this is also a really crazy card. I'm like, Blizzard, what the hell, bro? Okay. Discover, right? So when you throw like the null on the board, and like you transform that, or yeah, like you evolve it, I guess. I don't know why it says transform, not evolve. But you know how sometimes you evolve a null into a null, and that's really, really frustrating. Well, there's a couple things, right? So this can be used offensively. You can pick, and there's a card that goes super well with this card, which I'll talk about here in a second. So you can choose whatever best fits your need. You can transform this into like a Deathwing, or a card that we'll be talking about here in a second, or you could like Lokalar, the Ice Lord. It can also be used defensively. Okay, so let's say they drop let's say they drop a light because I have to, right? Let's say you drop a light shower elemental and you have lethal with your minions, provided that you're not healed. So you can choose to evolve the light shower, because it says any minion, so not friendly. And you can potentially evolve it into a 4/4 Mutanus, which is 7 mana. whereas the light shower was 6 initially. Or like plenty of situation like this. If there's like you could choose to throw this on like a Firewatch post, like evolving it into Battlecry minions. If you know that the opponent has no meaningful way, like you wouldn't want to do that against like Rogue or anything where they have Shadow Step, but um, yeah, just quickly evolving like a Firewatch post into uh, something else. Yeah. So this is like crazy. Nothing's impossible. This is a pretty boring card, but it's still really good. Like as you can tell, I'm spending far more time on some cards than others because they're just so absurdly good. Okay. Death Rattle. I don't know if that was a typo or if that's intentional. So Implock, which is funny because that's what we're calling it, Curse Implock. Obviously, it's a play on Murloc. You know, so in this current format, this is obvious. This just makes your demons more sticky. You could put up like ones from like Wicked Chipman or what's that swarm thing for 3 mana? That's some of those 4/1/1s. And then you can toss this on, so even if your board is clear, they just come back. And they have to spend even more resources to neutralize the threat. And as a quick shout out, post rotation, Murloc Warlock might be good. So, like that just like this is already good, even if it was just imps. But the fact that it can dual type into Murlocs, which we got a lot of support for in Sunken City. It's just a really solid card. Hookfist 3000. Is this going to be the card that pushes Warrior over the top? It's not a mech. So I don't. It just says mech, but it's a mech pirate. So if you are so degenerate as to play like pirate warrior or something, so this could be used in Enraged Warrior. Like you get armor, which can be a compensation for hitting a minion, but you could pair this up with like the axe thing, the imbued axe, and you can. Is this gonna like make the cut? I think it's a really, really, really good card. I don't. It's like that other card that I forgot about. It's like Jolly Roger. I don't know where this sees play at the moment. I think Jolly Roger has a bigger chance of being fit in. But like, I feel like a lot of archetypes that run weapons, warrior archetypes that runs weapons, and wants to cycle, they are going to run this regardless. Not that there's any such archetype in standard right now, but I'm thinking that it could potentially fit into Enrage somehow, because Enrage does struggle with draw, and this is just a way of helping them with that. And it has decent stats, or decent. It's like a spider tank, as Zeddy would say. All right, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's very, very crazy. It's actually super good, but all right. Let's start off with mistake. Is it a mistake to? I love the name, by the way. This is one of the reasons I picked it. There's nothing too crazy about the card, but the fact is, So it's a 1 mana, 1 mana, 1/3, and it can be used in any archetype that has synergies. Like, in like you could use this with like imps. You could use it with Murlocs. You could use it with like Pirate Rogue and Wild. You could use it with um like man, this is undead for your like the stats are just all around solid and sticky, so you can just toss this on here. And like there are other cards in this set that have synergies with the like there's a card here, for example. Now I don't think this is going to be too crazy, so I didn't include it. But I like hypothetically speaking, and I know people will come up with better things than this. Well, let's see here. So right, so potentially in wild, right, and maybe even standard, um, someone will find a president for using this, presidents for using this. So it's a elemental murloc. Just have to point that out right now. If you played a mistake last turn, summon blah 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 blah. Blazing suspicious spell visit link. Blazing transmutation suspicious not impossible visit link. Play corruption visit link. Training session link. Play corruption visit link. Training focus 3 training play corruption visit link. Training session link. Focus pleasure visit link. Focus 3000 visit link. Yeah. Training session link. Couple others like that. Visit link. Untitled Google Chrome. Miles of Death. Greatest card. Greatest item. Combo box. Heading Miles link. Graphic. Miles of Death set. Heading level battle cry. Deal 5 damage to your hero. Mana source 7. Result. No. Gold link. Wrong one. Link. Gold link. Untitled Google Chrome. Gold link. Heading gold link. Graphic. Gold link. Heading level 3. Gold link. Heading level battle cry. If you're holding a mech, gain win 3. Like that. If you're holding a mistake, gain win 3. Riding necromancer visit link. Untitled Google riding neck card battle. List with 11 items. Bullet battle. List battle. List with 11 items. List battle cry. Red shift is an event. Deal 5 damage to the enemy hero. Right. If it's a mistake, you get the idea. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be the expansion of Death Knight and Shaman, and you guys are not ready for this. Because Evolve Shaman can summon Thaddeus Monstrosity. Okay, so what is Thaddeus Monstrosity? Well, let's find out. So you drop Null on this thing. There's also other ways to abuse it, like dropping Kel'Thuzad, potentially. Right, so let's see here what we got. 10 mana, so Null would evolve perfectly into this, especially now that you can wait for it. You can discover this. Oh my. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? On turn 2. And on turn 3, they obviously dropped the frickin' Neptulon, and it's GG's. Cause, well, actually that makes perfect sense, cause Neptulon's a 10 mana card, so it swaps polarity. So, on the next turn after you drop it, assuming it hasn't been cleared, and look at the stats here. Why the hell would it be cleared? 11/11 with that freaking effect. Like, what the hell, Blizzard? What the hell? What's wrong with you? Holy sh... So yeah, this is not gonna get cleared. If it's getting on board on like turn 2, turn 3, it's not getting cleared. Period. There's no way. But then let's say you drop it on turn 2, then on turn 3 it has swapped, so it becomes even cost cards. And guess what's an even cost card? Echelon. Now I don't know how consistent this is gonna be, but let's say that is really consistent, then um, we might have an actual big shaman. The scams and the mana cheats on this are so incredible. I can't even. Yeah. So yeah, prepare for Shaman Stone with a little bit of Death Knight sprinkled in. You're gonna get some unholy, some fraud. Yeah, I'm finally happy that Death Knight is coming into their own. They're performing well all across all arcades. Well, Blood could still use that OTK, which is where the Four Horsemen come into play potentially. So I'm very happy to see that. And Frost and stuff, they're just gonna be even more scary. So if you've enjoyed this video, um, you should subscribe to this channel so you can see more irregular uploads and stupid low effort content. If you want to disagree with me, which undoubtedly you will, then please do so in the comment sections. Push that algorithm to make me #1 on YouTube, even though, well, I'm doing a very specific audience, am I not? But yeah, as we all say, subscribe, leave a comment, and thumb up this video, and I will see you next time.